This comes to us from gamesindustry.biz. They said part of the team behind EA's canceled Black Panther game joins Wizards of the Coast. Now, color me shocked. The wokest of woke teams in gaming that got laid off because they were making a woke game and had no idea what the hell they were doing and the game couldn't come together, finds a job and moves somehow upward in the industry. Led by Monolith Productions veteran Michael DePlatter, the group of 15 ex-Cliffhanger Games employees will be working on a new title. I'm hopeful that there may be a handful of people that are not hardcore wokies on that team, but you had your chance with Black Panther. You kept the team together. You're bringing them back. What's different this time? What could possibly motivate a company like Wizards of the Coast to be like, yeah, we're going to take this entire team on to work on a new title? This is crazy. Speaking to gamesindustry.biz, Wizards of the Coast president John Haidt has revealed that a team of developers that were formerly working on EA's canceled Black Panther game has joined the company to work on a new title. Now, I want to give you guys some member berries before we keep going. This comes to us from me on smashjt.com, where I wrote EA cancels Black Panther, shuts down Cliffhanger Games, fires racist staff. I'm very familiar with this group of people. I said, it's official. The world is healing slowly but surely. And who'd have thunk it would be starting with EA of all places? They just officially pulled the plug on their Black Panther video game. And on top of that, they shut down the entire Cliffhanger Game studio as well in the process. And if you guys don't remember Danny Lowlanders,
I have a team of 21 right now for Validate. It's a pretty big team. It's a crazy big team for indie games. But who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team.
It's a team mostly of color, actually all color. We have no white people on our team. She's very proud about it.
I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment.
She wanted to create a safe environment. So she made sure not to hire any white people. Let's see how that works out for you, Danny. And yes, this is also the same place that Corinne Bush got hired to, Wizards of the Coast. So Wizards of the Coast is the woke of woke. They are the epicenter of woke in gaming as far as game companies go.
And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me.
Okay. That sounds pretty racist.
And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something made okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while they're trying to make a game that they love.
That is Danny Lowlanders of Cliffhanger Games that lost a job, is no longer working there anymore. And just one of the many people. Oh, and by the way, she also was a narrative designer at Sweet Baby Inc. I know you're all shocked. I know. Anyways, back to the story. The team is led by veteran creative director Michael DePlatter, who was a key figure at Monolith Productions and director of 2014's Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. He previously worked on games like Tom Clancy's End War and Rome Total War. Haidt says that along with DePlatter, Wizards of the Coast has welcomed a number of other developers from Cliffhanger Games, the EA subsidiary that was revealed in 2023 to be working on Black Panther. But the project was canceled and the studio shuttered in May of this year, which I covered in a previous video. We were actually able to bring him and 14 key people that he's worked with there, and many of them at Monolith, to incubate a new game for us, says Haidt. Again, guys, you got to look at the dollars and cents and ask yourself, why would a company do this? What would the motivation be? to bring on a team of basically a failed dev team that could not produce a game, and not bring them on to finish a project that's already well underway, not bringing in a specialist from the team that they know can do well, but bringing in the same team that failed to put a game out to start on a new game. Let's all guess what happens with this title. I think we all have a pretty good idea. He'll be starting concept development on something very cool and new. And that part, I can't tell you yet. The new project is still in the early design phases. So they brought on the entire laid off Black Panther team for a game that they don't even know what the hell they're doing with it yet. I mean, there's got to be money laundering. There's got to be some. This doesn't make sense. This is not how you do it. We want to give him time, Height says about the Platter's work on the new title. We'll go through a fairly lengthy concept process where they're going to look at a lot of different ideas. Height says it will be a similar process to what Wizards of the Coast has recently been doing with Stig Asmussen, the director of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The company is working with Asmussen's new studio, Giant Skull, on an unannounced title. We're super excited to have him as part of the team, says Height about the Platter's arrival, adding that at some point, the Platter will be rooming with all of us in the Seattle area, home of Wizards of the Coast headquarters, which ironically is headquartered in Seattle, where Nintendo of America, Microsoft, and let's be honest, just downtown Seattle in general, one of the wokest places, not just in America, but the entire world. Some could argue that Seattle is the epicenter of wokeness. And that's where Wizards of the Coast headquarters is. Of course it is. I know you're all shocked. Heading over to LinkedIn, we have the post announcement yesterday from John Height, who says, "Welcome to Wizards, Michael DePlatter. He joined us this week along with a talented group of developers. Michael's been behind some really groundbreaking titles, from Total War to Shadow of Mordor. He brings a ton of experience as a creative leader and designer. Now this team is bringing their innovation. They couldn't get a game out. What innovation? Like, full stop. What are we doing? Who are you fooling here? What kind of marketing is this? To Wizards to create a new game, and we couldn't be more thrilled. Exciting times ahead." And I got to dive into the woke fest that is known as the comment section here. "Congrats, Michael. Welcome to the party. Fantastic hire. Yep. Happy to be on the same boat as you, friend. Can't wait to set sail and do some raiding and pillaging. Love seeing growth and new talent come to Wizards of the Coast. They're a very nice hire for both sides. Awesome. John Height, Shadow of War is an amazing game as well," which very true. "Amazing Lord of the Rings feel. Sounds like Michael DePlatter. You've got someone who can combine world building and combat for one of the upcoming games." And here is Michael DePlatter. "Thanks so much, John. I could not be more excited to be embarking on this epic adventure." And Katie Mellon, a senior writer at Turtle Rock Studios. "Michael, Shadow of Mordor is my top 3 games of all time. Look at, which, by the way, I don't blame her. It's a fantastic game. Looking forward to seeing what you make with John Height and the rest of the crew." Eric Moggensen, "Awesome, Michael. Awesome news. Welcome, Michael and team." And Michael DePlatter, who is now the game director of an unannounced, or I should say, studio head and game director of an unannounced project for Wizards of the Coast. Which, again, by the way, on its own, I don't want to be too critical because Michael may actually have a good resume behind him. But I can't help but look at the story of the Cliffhanger Games group that they're bringing on board with them and being like, are we really doing this? Here's another one, by the way. We got senior writer Alexa Ray Correa publicly endorsed a tweet from Alyssa Mercante. Yes, that Alyssa currently suing me. Hey, that still holds true. Saying, "I don't support all gamers. Most of you are bigots." That's from Alyssa. And Correa's response, "Need this on a shirt." This is a writer for what used to be Cliffhanger Games. Lost her job. I did not shed a tear. I said, "Good. Goodbye." Get out of the industry. Go find another job somewhere else. These people, it's the same thing again. It's the virus. They never stop. They just find other friends in the industry to pick them up and bring them in, and oftentimes end up with more money, getting paid more than they were at the previous company, oftentimes failing upward. And yes, I know the irony of the 2 views is not lost on me here. That is no motion from Alyssa there. EA is a wreck. Veilguard flopped. Mass Effect is now on their last shot. Very true. There's Danny Lowlanders getting promoted at GDC. Again, the industry continues to pump these people up. No matter what they say, they can do no wrong. If you're in the club, they'll make excuses for you all day. You've got to be insane to read what they say or hear what they say and be like, yeah, I would hire this person. Sounds like a really banger employee that's going to do great things for my company. No, there's a reason why they all lost their jobs. There's a reason why they were out on the streets. And now we have Wizards of the Coast to thank to bringing them back. And again, I know you're all shocked that Wizards of the Coast, of all the companies doing it, is the one doing it. But yeah, I'll follow the story to see what happens with the game that they're coming out with, because I have a feeling it's going to be up there with some. It's got the signs of all the wokeness, and we will see it. You would think this stuff would start making its way out the door now that 2020 is come and gone. The people are still there, but I'll leave that one there.